Well, you remember when you lived down here?
Oh, yeah.
How many years were you down here?
I was down here might near 38 years.
What was some of the stuff that happened to you down here? You remember getting rolled?
Oh, yeah. I was rolled and beat and stomped, all that kind of good stuff.
How many times were you in jail for being drunk?
I've been in jail 172 times for public drunk.
What'd you do, Dennis, when you were hungry and didn't have a place to sleep?
Well, when I got hungry, when I wanted to eat, I went to the shelter. But as soon as lunch was over, I went back down on Skid Row. Started drinking again.
How'd you get the money for the drinks?
Well, I didn't really need any money because I had too many friends.
How many of the guys that you think that you drank with down here are still alive?
Well, there might be one or two.
The rest of them all died? Or got killed?
All died.
How did you hear about the Howe?
Well, I heard about the Howe Foundation through a couple of guys that had already been out there. Of course, they left the program, come back on the streets and drank.
Why do you think they left?
Well, I think they left because they wanted to drink some more.
How long you been sober now?
I've been sober 8/13/85.
Well, how's life treating you now?
It's treating me wonderful.
You got your own place?
I got my own place. I don't have to worry about getting drunk. I got a place to lay down and sleep instead of the weed patch.
And people that love you.
Tulsa's Howe Foundation was started in 1981. From the beginning, we've believed that the alcoholic or drug abuser is the key to his own recovery. We're a self-supporting, nonprofit organization created by alcoholics and drug abusers themselves as an environment where men can learn to make those changes, to experience life without alcohol or drugs, to heal themselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It's about developing new habits, good work habits, personal cleanliness, punctuality, perseverance, learning to take responsibility for your own actions. And every phase of the program, from the admission of new men to final discharge, is handled by Howe residents themselves.
For a man to get into the Howe Foundation, all he has to do is to call and say that he wants help. Not a family member, he has to call himself. Or if he's sent in through the courts, which about 60% of them are, we talk to their probation officer or whoever has suggested that they need a long-term program. And then we talk to the man himself. They're all interviewed either by Keaton or Scott. The other 40% come in right off the street, quote, so-called volunteers, but nobody volunteers here unless they've got, life's been pretty rough on them, and they need to, hopefully when they come in, they want to change. If they don't, we hope that we get them where they do want to change after they've been here a while. We have a lot of rules, and you have to get up at 5:30 in the morning, eat, clean up your area, then go out to whatever work has been assigned to you through the service department. We have lawn crews, tree crews. We sell firewood year-round, sell it in the wintertime. We have a body shop downtown, and we have a thrift store over in Broken Arrow. We have compliments every day on the work that the men are doing. They learn here responsibility, one day at a time. HOW means, it's an acronym from Alcoholics Anonymous. H is for honesty. Be as honest as you can today. And you take it one day at a time. Be open-minded as to the suggestions that we'll make and try to help you through counseling or through peer pressure here. There's a lot of peer pressure here. And W is for be willing to try. If you'll just try. You don't have to be the best in anything, but you've got to be the best that you can do yourself.
Life can be pretty tough sometimes, and no one knows that better than the men at the Howe Foundation. And the Howe program can be tough too. Often it starts by getting alcohol and drugs out of your system. Detox.
I will never forget Tuesday morning December the 18th, 1984, when I checked into detox for the first time, and it's required as a policy that everybody spend at least 24 hours here, but I ended up staying in here about 5 days. For about 5 days, all I could do was just hold my head against the wall and vibrate. I was really sick. I'd been drinking for probably 15 years, and really hard for the last 8 or 9 years. And so when I checked in, it was about a week before Christmas, and they were kind enough to let me stay in here. It was packed back then. It was cold outside. We had a lot of guys that just came and went and really just spent the night for 3 hots and a cop. But at any rate, it was during that time, the only thing that really helped me to stay here was that I knew that eventually I was going to get well, I was going to get better, and that hope kept me alive. The Howe Foundation has helped a lot of men. We think that it's right around 5,000 men that have come through here over the last 10 years. I'm going to say probably 2,500 have at least completed the program. And it's here for the kind of men, I think, that are really on their last go-around with drinking and drugging. I've seen guys go out of here that night they died. Recovery is just like anything in life. I think it's a learning situation, and some men are ready and some men are not.
My drinking started at an early age, around 9.5 years old. My dad, he made homebrew and moonshine, and I used to heck him bottle of moonshine and homebrew. And I think that's where I got addicted to alcohol.
As I grew older, the partying became heavier, and drugs became a part of it, and things started really getting sticky. Started having run-ins with the police, DUIs, such as that.
Friends of mine just said, hey, you need to go somewhere, you need to do something, and I found a place for you, and I would go. And out of those came some sobriety, but it wasn't until I came to the Howe that I really knew what sobriety was about.
I heard about the Howe Foundation through a graduate that'd been in the program back in 1980 or 1984, and I totally disregarded it because I prefer the luxury of the treatment setting, where you were coddled, and I realized that I could pretty much con my way through any 28 or 30-day program.
I can remember waking up that next day in detox, and I could hear the sounds of sledgehammers and picks and machinery. I heard a lot of noise. It was June, I believe. It was hot outside, and it was no air conditioning in detox. And I was sweating and shaking, and I thought, oh my God, what have I got myself into here?
Since that time, the program's been great to me. In fact, it's one of the greatest programs in the country. It saved my life. I get up in the morning, just ask God to give me a good day.
Years ago, my immediate family I had abandoned them because I couldn't support them. 2 years ago, I was able to move back home and resume my residence with them, and they need me. We have a good, solid relationship, and wonderful things have happened.
My family's still speaking to me. I've made amends, but my children aren't yet, but I understand that. I understand that just because I make amends, it doesn't necessarily mean that all the hurt's gone that I've done. And I accept that. And all I can do is hope and pray that someday in the near future that my kids will forgive me. And I think they will, in time. Okay, fellas, tonight we're going to study step 9 which is made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Randy, why do you think making amends would be so important?
Just let them see it. I'm sorry for the past, and I'd like to make some changes in my life.
Okay. Wilbur, why do you think making amends would be important for you in your recovery?
Well, making amends to me, to make a better relationship, you know, with my son, and you know, I really need that. Need to be close to him and everything. Making amends to him and being a better father toward him would be pretty good for me and him.
Bruce, do you have any comments about making amends?
With me, it's going to be real hard for me to make amends with few family members, because I've done it before in the past, and I've done the same thing over again, not just twice or 3 times. I've done it many times, you know, and it's really hard for me to really prove something to them, you know. It's going to take a lot for me to show them that I'm serious this time.
Yeah, that's, I was kind of like Scott. I did a lot of apologizing before, and I never really made amends. I was just always saying I'm sorry, and kept doing the same thing over and over. And it's going to be hard for me to really make amends to some people, because it was hard for me to talk to some people to start with that I always hurted, such as my wife, my kids. I wouldn't go to ball games. I'd tell them I was sorry, but that's still not making amends to them.
Okay, once we make amends, what response do you expect to get from your loved ones? Somebody just jump in.
I can't expect everybody to forgive me at one time, because this is going to take a long time to work, and I feel that, like everyone said, we've done it over and over again to make amends, and it's more or less we've apologized, and now we're here and we're going through the program. When we make amends this time, it's not going to be easy. It may take years before people will forgive us of the things we've done in the past. So it's not going to be just a one-time deal. It's going to take years to patch up what we've destroyed.
The Howe Foundation provides 6 months or more of in-house residency for alcoholics and addicts. That includes room and board, along with clothing, cigarettes, toiletries, emergency medical and dental care. There's peer support and vocational services, as well as social and recreational activities for men with alcohol and other drug problems.
But we'll do anything to help a man that helps himself. And we'll do nothing for a guy that doesn't want to do anything. We'll just ask him to leave. But we pride ourselves in that I get letters every week, at least 2 or 3 times. Either notations on the checks when they pay us, or little memos that they're very proud of what the guys are doing, and they call us back, and we have customers that we've had for well over 10 years. So we really worked hard to have a good reputation, and we do, and we protect it.
We started using people from the Howe Foundation about 2.5 years ago. We had a gentleman come in for an interview, and he was very open about the fact that he had a drug problem. He seemed to have a great attitude, and we felt that he really wanted to make a change in his life and that we would take a chance on him. Since then, we've hired several other people. They usually refer other people to us. And right now we have 4 people from the Howe Foundation that is working for us. From the very beginning, whatever we wanted to have done was no problem. They were very good workers, always on time, always dependable. But I think we have seen their self-esteem grow, and on a personal level, we've been able to see advances that they're making in their personal lives as far as creating relationships, being able to get simple things like credit. And even now we have 2 gentlemen who have just currently purchased a new home, and they're getting ready to move into that. So it's great to have workers that are good producers, but from a personal standpoint, I think it's even more rewarding to see those people make advances in their lives. And I think that's probably been the most rewarding part.
If you know someone who has a problem with drugs or alcohol, we can help if they want help. If you're with the Department of Corrections, a probation officer, or judge, we can help decide if the Howe Foundation is a healthy alternative for your candidate. For admission qualifications, call 918-252-5555. 5739. If you need help, call us day or night, 24 hours a day at 918-252-5739. And remember, there's always hope. There's always an alternative. The Hal Foundation. We can help.